Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to give you an update of what's going on during the Tyre Nichols federal trial case. This is day 3. You guys remember, I was there day 1 in the courtroom, sitting in the front row as they were doing jury selections. I sat with the family of Tyre Nichols. And I seen the police officers up close. I gave you guys detailed descriptions of what they looked like and the size they were. I gave you accounts and details of a lot of things you guys wouldn't see or hear through the media. Today I want to give you an update because, like I said, today is the first day they really got into the case with opening statements. And some things were surprising that came out that the media just heard and was never released to the public. They had various witnesses. This is what happened in court today. They had various witnesses. One of them was the nurse that was there when Tyre Nichols came in. She described what she saw. Guys, they knocked the man's teeth out in the front, broke his teeth. Another thing they said, they had other witnesses up there and they were talking. You know what? I'm not even gonna do that. I got something for you. It just hit me. Take a look at the news story, get the information. We'll come back and talk about it because I'm going to show you guys something.
Police gave their opening statements in the case and the first witnesses were called. And while outside court today, there was praying. WREG's April Thompson is live with the latest developments. April.
Alex and Shay, yes, witnesses have begun to be called in this case. In fact, some are on the stand right now. The first up today was a critical care nurse who was working at St. Francis Hospital the night Tyre Nichols was brought in after his encounter with the Scorpion unit. Now, she testified about Tyre Nichols' injuries when she first saw him. She said he had front teeth were broken, lacerations on his lip, abrasions on his shoulder and knuckles, and punctures on his palm. She said, quote, he looked like he had been in a bar fight and punched a few times, saying his face was unrecognizable because of the swelling. And we also heard from several medical examiners that they did not know and they were not told, as well as on the scene at the hospital, very little was given about what caused those injuries to Tyre Nichols. In opening statements today, we also learned some more information, what we can expect to hear over the next several weeks. Defense attorneys saying their clients were following what they were trained to do when it came to the use of force. Prosecutors also said Emmett Martin and Desmond Mills will be testifying, saying the members of the Scorpion unit were angry when Tyre ran, and they were angry they had pepper sprayed themselves. They also spoke about something called the run tax. That's the punishment for suspects who ran from police. You would get extra punches and kicks, and they say that was well known in the Memphis Police Department. As this testimony got underway, outside, Tyre Nichols' family and attorney Ben Crump talked to the media and prayed about what was to come.
Our hope is that they're found guilty and to show the world that my son was a good person and he wasn't the criminal that they're trying to make him out to be. And I'm just going to leave it at that right now.
And that was Rovon Wells, Tyre Nichols' mother. His family is in court listening to this testimony. More is expected today. A few more people will come up to testify, and then this trial is full underway, and soon we could possibly hear from those Memphis police officers. I'm News Channel 3's April Thompson reporting live in downtown Memphis.
Okay, guys. If you guys have been keeping up with the case and been keeping up with me so far, since we've been running this whole situation with the Tyre Nichols case and me being in Memphis and me being in the courtroom during the live stream, somebody asked me to give a layout of what the courtroom looks like. Now, this is very important, and I want to explain this to you guys in full detail so you can get an idea of what's going on when I'm reporting from what the media is saying. Now, standing in front of you, if you're looking at this diagram that I drew, and I can't draw, what you see at the bottom, we'll start from the bottom. You see these wavy red lines? They are about 6 rows of pews on each side. Now you notice it's split in the middle. That's where the door is, where you walk into the courtroom and walk down that little part between the pews, almost like in church. This red line that you see is a gate. It's just a wooden gate, just like in court, where you see the swinging door diagram where you just push the door and it opens and closes on its own and spring loaded. To the left, you see where the prosecution sits. This is where the prosecuting lawyers will be sitting at, right? The prosecution team. On the right is where the jury sits. There are two rows of 8 seats, 16 jurors. At the top, you'll see 2 people sitting at the top. They're both women. The one on the left is the stenographer. The one on the right is the assistant of the court. I think that's what they called it because they introduced all these people to us. The assistant of the court, the stenographer is the one that takes all the dictation. The assistant of the court, she controls the film projector. The judge sends commands to her. She sends paperwork to all of the defense teams when they go to bring up certain things. She also works, what's in the middle of the room I didn't show is one of those old projectors where you take a piece of paper and stick it on it, it lights up and it projects with a magnifying device onto a screen. Now, she handles all of that, the operations in the courtroom. To the left, next to the prosecution, in the same row but facing the other way, you have the defense team. These are all of the lawyers for Justin Smith, Demetrius Haley, and Tadarius Bean. They all sit there. The defendants behind them in the next rows of seats. These are the police officers that I just named. Haley, Smith, and Bean. They all sit there behind each defense team. They sit behind their lawyers. Now, what I can't show you because of the way this is set up, over top of the defense team, right? Between the rows of chairs between the defense team and the defendants, there is a huge slide, not slide. You know when you pull down, like when we were in school, you would pull down like a curtain, but it's like where the projector's shown. It's huge. It's probably 10 or 12 feet wide. It's lowered by remote control. It sits exactly over top of the defendants, but it faces the jury. So when they show the videos of Tyre Nichols getting beat and all of that stuff, it's facing the jurors. The defendants cannot see it unless they stand up, walk out, and then turn around and look up at this monstrosity of a board. Or the only way they can see it is if they look at the laptops on the defense team as they watch it on their laptops. Because there's no way they can see it as it slides down. It would impede their view. They're sitting behind it. I thought that was interesting. So the jury can see it, and people in the rows can see it too because it's facing to the left. And it's in direct view of everybody unless you're sitting on the left side of the pews where it comes down and you can't see it, which is almost near the wall. But this is the diagram, guys, and this is how it does look. So I try to get that out there to you guys so you guys can get an opportunity. The judge sits at the top. Next to him are 2 women. One controls all the operations in the court. The other one is the stenographer that writes down everything, records everything, and types it up. Now, let me tell you about this real fast. The family sits on the right. I guess the family or anybody for the defense would sit on the left. The last rows of these 6 or 7 rows, that's where the media sits on the family side. So they can't have cameras in there. So when you hear them say, hey, they have cameras aren't allowed in there, these people are writing on, taking dictation on notepads in the back, quiet as can be, sitting side by side. So this is how the information is getting out to the people on the outside of the court when they're reporting what they're hearing or what they're seeing, because no cell phones or electrical devices are allowed inside the courtroom. So these people are writing down everything they see, and then they're transferring it to you, the viewer, on media. That's just something to know. Guys, I had to sit down. I wrote that on my board, and I had to sit back down after showing that to you guys. But you get a general idea of how it is there in the courtroom. That open space you seen was a bunch of open space. There's like 1 or 2 tables in the middle of the floor, but it's so big, like the space is so big, you know, it just has a few tables there with the projector on it. But I hope you guys get the idea. The whole time in the court, the jury faces the defendants. So they're going to watch this. They haven't shown the video yet, guys. That's another thing I found out today. They haven't shown the video. They're going to watch this brutality of how they did Tyre Nichols. All of these jurors, while the defendants look at their face because the screen is behind them. That's one of the things I was going to tell you. If I could make it down there and see on the first few days, if they didn't have this jury selection, I would love to see their faces when this is played. Because make no mistake, this is a horrific incident that happened to a man that was compliant. The man was scared. We've been covering this case for over a year. Those that have been with me, you know. I've been attacked. People telling me, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about, this and that. Now it's all starting to come out to light. Their defense tried to say he was on something, remember that? Now they're going to have to answer for that because they got all these witnesses. Said they smashed the man's teeth in the front. Said he looked like he was in a bar fight and took a few punches. His face was so swollen, he was unrecognizable. Can you imagine the parents and family, extended family, Tyre Nichols, coming in there and having them seeing what was done to their son? After field lieutenant who got away, Dwayne Smith, went and said he was high or drunk off of something, and they go and see that. See, people know their children. And this makes it all the worse. The cover-ups, the silly stuff. Now they're turning on each other. You see what it said? Emmett Martin III and Desmond Mills Jr. are going to take the stand against the other ones. Like I said, people thought I was crazy. Scorpion team was mad and they beat Tyre primarily because in their attempts of trying to arrest him, he ran. And then they maced themselves, which made them mad and attack him more. Keystone Coppery at his finest, guys. At his finest. This man yelled for his mom. Feet away from his house. Makes no sense. This is a senseless crime by people that shouldn't have been officers in the first place because they don't have the mindset for it. I'll have more updates for you. I wanted to show you the court diagram. And you seen what they said today in court. Nothing different than what I would have said. I'd have probably been a little more descriptive, but you know, you can only say so much as long as it doesn't impede in the case. But hopefully we'll pick this thing up tomorrow. This is a 3-week event. And I want to tell you this in closing. I'm going to try to go back there. The drive was easier than I thought. The 9-hour drive. And I told the family I was coming back. Now, this is the dilemma. The Stephen Stearns trial is coming up. And I plan to go to that. I got hotel reservations and everything. The time they say this ends might impede the trial to go to Stephen Stearns. So hopefully it doesn't, because Memphis is way closer to me than Florida is. So I'm trying to make it, and I'm trying to take you guys with me. This time we're going to when they read the innocent or guilty plea. At that time, When the jury deliberates, I'm hitting the road. I don't care what time it is. And I got to be down there and I'm going to stand with the family. We already discussed it. I'm going to stand with the family. And as the verdict is read, I will be there and I'll be giving you all the information after it's over. We followed this thing since it broke nationally, and we're going to keep following it. Now that I met the family, I made a promise to them that I was going to ride for him. We're going to ride, y'all. We're going to ride. He did not deserve that, what he did. Nobody deserves that type of treatment. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. You seen them in the press conference. They had the family shirts on. I too got the family shirt on. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Justice for Tyre.